Okay, Saints, I'm back. Hopefully this is the last one. Now, let's see if I can find where we were. We were talking about if America goes down, everybody goes down. And now they're talking about giving boosters, but that's not going over so well. So their plan is disintegrating very rapidly. But this whole pandemic, I'm not going to say the real word, was supposed to happen 4 years ago when Evergreen was supposed to have won. Remember, they said they never thought she would lose because it was all rigged. She was supposed to win. Praise the Lord that she didn't. Because we wouldn't have had a choice but to have the jab. Every single one of us would have had to do it. We would have been locked down. We would have lost jobs even way back then. Factories were brought back into the country. Borders were closed. Everything, life was good. Life was so good. We just said no. Another question that is always asked is why is number 45 promoting the jab? Well, let's talk about that. He knows that they will crucify him. They will blame him, which people are still blaming him. How do you introduce evidence legally for public records and for citizens to see? Now, remember what General Flynn went through. We talked about that. How do you expose the pharmaceutical companies, Big Pharma, the corruption, who founded and funded them? How do you expose the paid and bought scientific world elite community? How do you expose the Dr. FAUCI on a world scale? Expose the WHO, CDC, drug companies, the jab, Gates, the techs, social media, Soros, who funded the cover-up, censorship, thousands of elite organized ops that created this pandemic, the lies and the world corruption. How do you expose this on an international level? Now, keep thinking about that and why 45 had to do what he did. Now, during the tribunals, all evidence will be shown. 45, the 305th military, the 17th letter of the alphabet, Ezra, Cohen Watnick, John Jr., and number 35, all have been planning this. 45 is very aware that Anons and Patriots and many more people are awake and waking up by the day. Why is Flynn, Linwood, Giuliani, and hundreds of money power, and podcasters and truth squealers who control this movement will not take this jab? There's a huge stand still happening right now and around the world. And the jabs, are not moving. The media is lying. The supposed 46 is lying about how many people are taking it. There are ports, buildings, warehouses filled with them. 45 is getting ready to expose this. Most of you are very unaware that tribunals are happening. All evidence on everything and evidence has the warp speed. The real operation to take down the DS war program. Everything is being done so we can have a future, so we can have our country back. Now we're going to be like living in 1776. We're going to have to be able to go back on prices. I mean, really go back. You're not going to believe how it's the end of Big Pharma and the end of the government regulators of the healthcare. Future proves past. 45 is insulated. Nothing will happen to him. God said that not a hair on his head will be touched. Now, for other people that are alive, Elvis, Diana, Princess Diana, JFK Sr., but I think he died recently, but lived a long time. Junior, as we know, Patrick, Michael Jackson, Prince, McAfee. Let's discuss that God has been telling me for years to pray and save his children. I've been telling you ever since the beginning of this channel. I didn't have a clue to what he really meant, so I started saving them by the house of prayer, praying for him, the safe haven, starting that. I knew children, babies, young girls, boys disappear, women disappeared, but we couldn't find many of them. We found some. They were discovered, but they have been satanic rituals going on, drinking of the blood, organ harvesting, shoe products, the ones that are in red, the huge red rings that the leaders would be wearing. Oprah, the Taliban guy that was killed like a year or so ago, or 2 years, I can't remember. The elites, Jeffrey Epstein Island, the records of all who went there, the underground tunnels that are worldwide, the White House, the Capitol building, the Vatican, the England Palace, castles, all have been doing this for a very long time. The monument that looks like a penis, they were all satanic things done there. The rods of God will take them out. I think that's why they're clearing out Washington. Washington will return to a swamp. And it's practically empty now. You see buildings being taken apart. You see big excavators on the property. And if you saw yesterday, you could tell something's up because many helicopters were flying around like getting ready for an op. Something's ready to go down. People who voted for 46 are having buyer's remorse. Everyone wants him to resign, but something else might happen to him. But remember, it's not him. He's gone. Trump even said it in one of his rallies. Number 45 went to England on D-Day and took our country back. The event that happened a couple of weeks ago was staged with a blown up airplane, and by that I mean it was air blown up like a balloon. We have tanks and aircrafts that are air blown up to look real. Just remember, this is a movie and you will have proof very soon. There will be 3 days of movies shown on TV 24 hours a day. When you saw the video of people running around that plane a couple of weeks ago, it was not real. If you really looked at it, there wasn't a door, didn't have engines, or the people would have been sucked into the engines, or if they were running behind it, they would have caught on fire. It's so hot. They were so hot, the real ones, and they would have burned up. Again, this is CGI, people. Remember, modern technology. And 45 has made a statement recently that he was sorry this has taken so long, but it's been complicated. We know that it is very complicated, and we praise the Lord. This is God's project that He has orchestrated. He put 45 in charge to take this cabal down.